So you loaded up on T-Drop early then and got it onto Theta Drop?
Yeah, I know, Mags, you've been a little tentative. Don't think the VIP benefits are there. But yeah, I was tossing a little, like some T-Drop in there because I was like, oh, like T-Drop OG. How about, that's a flex right there. I'm going to flex on him. This Bones Nasty coming at him, you know?
Papa's popping and locking. Magnum scrutinizing. Papa Max Pinecast.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to episode 16 of the Papa Mags Pinecast. Mags, we're now over the century mark. 101 days since we've been told we can take our NFTs off of Theta Drop. And just for the record, Mags, can we let everybody know here, why do we find it so important that we get these NFTs off of Theta Drop?
Well, like you've mentioned before, you want Sheriff Secure on your ledger.
I want him
right?
in the freezer. That is
you
right.
want him in the freezer, right? So there's, as much as I enjoy Theta Drop, it is somewhat centralized because it's all through there. So
Absolutely.
if we can't get them off, if something happens, then we can't get them off. They're stuck. You know, we've talked about, we don't talk about crypto as much, but we have mentioned numerous times, you know, get your crypto off exchanges, because
Absolutely.
you can think it's the greatest thing since the last greatest thing, and then it turns out it's gone.
Yep.
So one is just, you know, personal security, I guess, right? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
The second point, I think, is if we could get these awesome Theta NFTs that we love so much off of there, and then maybe we could put them on other platforms and then grow the interest on there, because I don't think Theta's doing a good job of getting new people on their site, and which is weird because it's super easy to use. So, and I mean, it says it's in beta, right? Sure, but I mean, it's been over a year that they've had that?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I'm sure right now with MetaChain coming up, they got bigger fish to fry, but you know, you're absolutely right. And you know, I think both of us agree that our biggest reasons are security. You know, right now it's just, you know, a lot of people out there just have a user ID password. They're not even setting up 2FA, and you know, it's easier to break in than if you actually had these things on a secure ledger, or even if you were able to put it like onto your actual Theta wallet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Using those keys or the JSON or whatever. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's security, it's decentralization, and I've heard a bunch of projects mention, like, you know, once you can get the NFTs off, that's when some of these extra bells and whistles can kind of come into play. So there's many reasons, but you know, just for the record, it's not for nothing. But Popper, I'm not going to feel like Popper is truly mine until he's sitting in my wallet that I have the passwords for. And right now I only have a user ID and login for it, and 2FA obviously, but
right.
Popper needs to make his way into the freezer.
Yeah, and two, you know, different integrations, like with the Symbies getting off there, and like going to MetaMask.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and then different things with staking. So like Mystic Gurus, they have staking, but they're on Open Theta, and Open Theta you can send stuff pretty easily.
Exactly.
It's one, I think they're a business, and that 10%, I don't know what their slice is, but I'm sure it's pretty healthy. So I think that's got to be part of the reason why this hasn't happened yet. But two, the MetaChain, there's a lot of work going on, and
there's a ton of work. Yeah,
you got to prioritize, you know, and it's not for me or you because we don't know all the innards of that beast. So we're just two idiots who have a Pinecast just talking about why we think it's dumb, but we don't have all the information ourselves. So
that could not be more true. But speaking of Theta Drop, we had the Creator Club drop recently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I mentioned I really like them. I've bought a few. I actually got a custom. I don't know if you saw it. It's like the
dinosaur boy, right?
Yeah, with a meteor.
Yeah.
The meteor coming down, which is it's super cool. The more I see these, the more I'm like, these are so cool. But what's baffling me, and I've bought a couple. I just seem to keep buying them because the price is still pretty good, even though like if you bought a cartridge for $30, they're over 60 now. They were at 80 for a while, selling no problem. And another cool thing too, man, I got so many things to talk about with this project but the other thing is, I don't know if I could, is it a project? They don't even have there's no like Twitter page. It's like part of just considered Theta TV. You know what I mean? I don't see like a delineation.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I know that it was created in order to help the Theta TV streamers, which I think is really cool, but I don't know what the future plans are for it or anything like that. Like you said, there hasn't really been too much information.
These and Pineapple seem unique to me. You know, like they had on Open Theta, they had the Theta Punks, which are kind of like the punks or the crypto punks or whatever they are.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of haven't seen anything like this. And the artwork it's just so I love cartoons.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. And even like the common ones, they're all very like, oh, this one speaks to me. I bought for $25, which was close to the full floor price, the current, I don't know if you know this, the current least rare one. So
nice.
So as of now, I have one of the rarest, and I have the least rare of the creators.
So does that make it rare?
I think so.
Not rare? Yeah,
I think so. And I know the artist is out there, but I don't know if the artist, I think it's a she. I don't think she's posted too much stuff. She's got great art, but this stuff is just at another level. This is a reason. So like Pineapples and Creators Club, I could see really grabbing other people's attention, because I don't think there's anything like these two, like the art. They're both very different.
Yeah, that's a very fun, like cartoon animated kind of artwork, you know, like, and even the cartridge, you know, brings you back. So yeah, it's certainly pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you saw that today, you know, they had the Creator Club Fall Guys competition on Theta TV. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw some of it. I was on Theta Zilla Club stream earlier today, watching him practice before he went in, and I watched a bit of it, and then I got sidetracked doing some other stuff. But yeah,
did you happen to hear who won?
I think he did, right? But I don't know. I don't know what he won.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't catch it either. I was not able to be attentive to that, but I heard that he won. I heard he actually beat HGH. Hey, no big deal. Not saying, just saying, as he likes to say. But from what I hear of it, I mean, it just sounds like he's going to be getting a custom Creator Club NFT of like a champion. So just from what it is posted, it sounds like he's going to be getting something real cool, and that's pretty awesome. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, same.
GGs, as they say.
So TZC, Theta Zilla Club, friend of the Pinecast, my boy, our boy. He
used to be my boy.
He used to be your boy. Then he's Team Magnum. So I think by default he's my boy. But let's just I'll give him to both of us, our boy, Theta Zilla Club. And he finally hit 300 follows on Theta TV today.
Nice.
Like within an hour ago.
Sweet.
Crazy. So that was been a long time in the making, and I don't know if
it's about time, honestly. You know what I mean? Like he's on there doing some pretty interesting stuff.
It's been a while, and you know, I don't like to. You know, I'm a humble guy, humble pine.
And so is he. You know, you two are the two of the most humble people I've ever met.
That's true. he But yeah, so when I was on stream, watching his stream with him, saw he was 8 away, and I made a post about it. Got retweeted a bunch of times. You know, your boy Ivory retweeted it, and we got to the finish line. So
you don't want to take credit for it, but it was obviously your doing.
No, I couldn't take credit because, you know, that's not who I am.
You're too humble.
I'm way too humble.
But it was you were doing. Goo fucking smack though about fantasy football.
Really?
Oh yeah, you know, she wants to crush you.
Oh man, I'm just painting a target on myself.
I think we have like 23 people in, so you know it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. If anyone else wants to get in, there's still some time. Feel free to reach out. But we're just doing this for fun. And hey, public service announcement. I don't even know if you know this, Mags. Dr. Theta reached out to me last week, and he wanted to join. So I gave him the information to join. He's like, oh, you know, can I tell other people about this? It's like, yeah, dude, you know, whoever. And he's like, oh, I want to hook it up and send the winner like a really nice Theta Punk. One of the, I don't know what the different kinds are, but he's like a real legit Theta Punk. So we are increasing our prize pool here to include something special from the Theta Punks collection from the one and only Dr. Theta.
And that's going on the for just a free entry.
That's the free
Yeah.
entry.
Oh.
You got to own a pine, though. We're not.
Got it.
You got to own a pine to win anything here. If you join the 100 T fuel one, whoever wins that one wins it. I'm not gonna. You don't need a pine to win that one, but if you want the freebies, then you got to own a pine. Pays to be a pine.
That's right. Oh, good to know. And they should have a few days to get in.
Yeah, we still got. Yeah, exactly.
Thursday night.
Yeah, well, I think you can probably join up until like noon on Sunday, but you just wouldn't be able to use the Thursday game, obviously.
Right. Sure. Which you might not want to use anyway, of course.
Possibly.
Cool. So, Sheriff, if I can take this podcast in a different direction,
I'm kind of scared.
Okay?
But I'm kind of scared. But
well,
please.
I want to talk about the podcast and some interesting things that I've noticed as of late. So
it wasn't me.
By chance, do you know what the highest rated episode was or highest downloaded episode was?
My guess would be the Ivory Jones episode.
Right, and we were second. Our initial pilot was second.
Wow.
So the numbers we've had, because I think we're dropping in the rankings. I think we're going to be like 75. I think by the time this comes
out. Number 75 Pinecast.
Pinecast, yeah. Getting crushed out there. So
competition's fierce.
So, anyways, our numbers have been pretty. Like June seemed like it was great, or July. August was just a huge downturn. Maybe vacation. Maybe they didn't like my voice, and they
bear market.
Right.
Blues.
So whatever the reason. So this week, I think it wasn't a record, but it was like 2 days or just over, a little over 2 days. The Lost URP episode hit 100 downloads.
Wow.
Yeah. So, which is good. It's no record, but it's like, hey, it's going up. Maybe that was a fun episode. I enjoyed it. It was a lot. Thank God it didn't remain lost, and we got it out there. So usually the first day, second day, third day, depending on, is the majority of the downloads of a published Pinecast for us. Okay, that's when you're going to find the most downloads. Usually the first day, second could be the second day, depending on when it came out, whatever. But within the first 3 days, you're going to have the bulk of the downloads and listens. Okay, so he was in the hundreds, whatever. Okay, late Friday night, and the metrics go off, I think, of GMT. So basically, early Saturday morning, he got, and let me pull this up here, his episode last night, September 3rd.
Yeah.
Or technically today, but we're already into September 4th. 128 downloads for the Lost URP episode.
Wait, 128 like at that time, or it bumped up to 128?
No, 128 at that time for like this period of time last night. I don't know if it was like a couple hour period or whatever. Okay. So then, pull this up on my phone, okay? So then what happened was, I was like, well, that sounds weird. So I went in and I looked, 127 for that, 9 for Mactastic, 1 for Brian Macer, 1 for Dole, 1 for Ivory, 1 for Twitch Pixels, okay? So that is like that's a huge day. The biggest day we ever had. On probably Friday night, Saturday morning is probably our lowest download time. Okay. Then another interesting thing that I looked was 127, which is that amount, were considered daily listeners, which is a listener is a unique combination of IP addresses plus user agent for playing podcast in a calendar day. So they were all individual. Then I went,
wow.
So then I went further, though, and this is what I noticed as this was going on. Majority of this was in the United States, but it was all like a bunch of US states, and it was 11111, and then some of them got 2222 and 332211. So bottom line is, it's possible there is some shenanigans with the Lost URP episode, and also with this, 88.05% of those downloads were downloaded off Samsung Podcasts, which they have our podcasts, but we've never even hit. Man, I'm struggling to think if we've ever passed like 12 in a month on Samsung Podcasts. Basically, everyone who happened to listen and download from unique IP addresses in the primarily in the United States. We did get a Mongolia last night. We got some other
Sweet,
crazy
shout out.
places, but basically, yeah. All those downloads came from Samsung podcasts and are listed as unique. I was under the assumption that if you had a VPN that it would show it was unknown, but I think maybe someone's playing with a VPN.
Well,
someone's
got some time on their hands. And they're very bored.
So now the total numbers as of recording right now, Ivory is now our second biggest Pinecast episode with 176 total downloads. But the lost URP episode, 233.
This is not anything that URP would have his hands in at all. Like, this is not, this is not something he would do. He's on the up and up.
Oh my God.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. That's actually really funny.
Yeah. Well, because this reminded me of the whole Danny Son.
Exactly.
Him, where he went from being tied with him and Danny Son had a lead, Umberto, right? And,
a large lead. And then it kind of got close. They kind of went up and down. And then we went to bed and we woke up. I woke up and he had like 100 more votes. Yeah. 100 more votes. And as he mentioned that. Yeah. So, hey, I'm not going to kick these ratings out of bed. No, for sure. I mean, if they would like to do this for all of our episodes, feel free. I hope you enjoyed the listen, guys. Right. Wherever you are. In Mongolia or any other state. Yeah, or 11111 or 22222. So I saw that and I had to share that with you and with everyone else. So. That's pretty funny. Speaking of URP, actually, okay. I noticed that he got a little bit rubbed in his nose on Twitter this week by Nico Bizarro. Okay. Toro Hanso, right? Right. The one that got away. Right, the one that he sold and regretted, that pine, yes. So I just had to bring that up, yeah. Right, and actually, one other thing I wanted to mention about URP that I didn't mention to you at all was, don't know why, but did you notice a bunch of sizzle sales this week? Yeah, I noticed some tweets about it, yes. And then there was blocks of purchases, yes. Yeah, so URP bought like 33 or something. He already had a bunch of them, but he bought like over 30 more. So when I checked last night when I was going through all this nonsense, I was like, let me check out what's going on with URP. And yeah, he had 48 in his wallet and he had 3 listed for sale. So he has 51 of these sizzle popcorn. Bullish on popcorn. So I don't know if you have any take about the sizzle. Honestly, I see that they're making some moves on Twitter. I'm not exactly sure what it is that they're looking to do. I like popcorn, but I don't know. Since we kept the conversation on URP, I had to mention that because I can't seem to figure this guy out, and I think that's by design. So. Oh yeah. Yeah, good luck trying. No, he's back to, like, if it's snowing out, he's backtracking in the woods, to keep you off his trail. Right. Question for you, Popper. Okay. Do you consider the Pop and Mags Pinecast part of the Theta ecosystem? Absolutely, it is. Okay. Why do you? Well, we're Theta related. We talk all things Theta. We've actually been reached out to by Ethereum projects, just saying, and turned them down because we are a Theta related project. There's no true affiliation yet with any official Theta Labs people, but all we talk is Theta drop, Theta NFTs. Right. And so I think two things. I think if there's some guests we haven't had on, some of them have dipped their toes in some stuff and they want to talk about that, I think that's fine. Yeah. But that's different. But there is so much to talk about Theta related on a weekly basis. It just doesn't make any sense, right? To do that. No, I'm not bringing we're not bringing projects from Ethereum onto here. If we have guests that are big in the Theta community that also have Ethereum stuff that they want to talk about, hey, that's fine. This is about, part of this is about the community. But if we're bringing creators on, we're bringing Theta creators on.
Right. So now this is going to bring me to my greater point is, have you checked out thetatoken.org/ecosystem, or in other parts of the English speaking world, ecosystem?
I have, yeah.
You have. So so we are not listed on there, which is fine.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have expected to be.
But there's this other podcast listed on there called God Mode Unlocked. And
What?
it says a weekly podcast focused on game and news on the interweb. So no direct Theta. I think it's possible they may be on Theta TV, maybe, but there is no Theta nexus that I see in what they have. So that's why I wonder what your opinion on that is, because you stated you thought we were part of the Theta ecosystem. I think
everybody survey says everybody in the community is part of the Theta ecosystem. I'm not saying we're more important than anybody else.
I'm not saying that either, but what I am saying is we are a podcast that continuously talks about Theta projects, and as you mentioned, we turn down other non-Theta projects. Now, what they're advertising on their ecosystem page is another podcast that isn't directly talking about Theta. It's talking about video games.
So, yeah. So now you're going to get me worked up a little bit. Because here's the thing, and I feel like this in many areas of my life. I'm not one that needs to look for recognition from others for any reason, right?
Sure.
I mean, we didn't do this because we were trying to get on the Theta ecosystem page. This is fun. I have fun chatting with you. I have fun learning about some of the community members.
Same.
However, when something is done for someone else who's not doing anything like we are, or as focused as we are doing it, and that focus gets sent over to there, it's like, now, come on, wait a minute. Like, at least if you're going to do that, at least give us the recognition that we're out here. I don't think people understand like how much time and effort is really put into this. A lot of it by you behind the scenes. But this is like, we're scheduling and trying to figure out and like doing this 2 times a week at least. It's like, there's a lot of work going into it. And just while we're on that subject, guys, of scheduling, Mags, can you tell me about all the people reaching out to you? How does that make you feel?
Oh, so are you done with your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Do I need to change it that fast? I mean, I'm done with my thoughts on that. I don't want to get too worked up.
I know. Okay. I didn't think you were aware of that, and I wanted to.
No, I was not aware of that. Thank you. And yes, that doesn't make me happy. It's like, how are you going to say like, oh, this other podcast is a weekly podcast? Dude, we're out here like promoting all your stuff.
Right. I guess yes. And I'm humble, so you know it, and everyone else does. I wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't have expected us to be on there. Like, I wouldn't have been upset that we weren't on there. But then you see.
But if somebody's going to be on there, then it should have been us.
I mean, you could have both. I bet you there. I mean,
you could have both. Absolutely.
There's gaming involved.
I don't care.
Theta TV. That's fine.
That's a snub, though. We got snubbed.
I think you're right.
All-star snub. One of the biggest ever. We have ThetaCon coming up, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. There might be something in the works where people can kind of come and join us at ThetaCon. I don't know. You think anybody would be interested in that? I don't know.
I don't think so. But what do I know?
Yeah, I don't know. I know as little as you know. But we'll see how that works. But we're definitely getting super excited for ThetaCon. It's getting closer and closer now, and it just seems like there's a lot of stuff in the air that is going to be very exciting come that time. So it's certainly a big fat star on my calendar of when we're down there. I think that if you guys can make it, that you certainly should. I'm certainly looking forward to it. That's for sure.
Yeah. And looking forward to talking to everyone who wants to.
Yeah, meeting you guys, meeting the people that have been on, meeting the people that listen. Hey, it's going to be cool. We are all part of the Theta ecosystem, and we all deserve to be on that webpage.
Oh,
If
great.
that podcast is on there, then everybody that has been on this show and everyone that listens should be on there. That's for sure.
No comment.
All right. Well, there was I had one other thing. This week was officially penned Sentinel Prime week. Not sure
Oof.
if you saw that.
I did. I got one.
Woof, man. Wow. I mean, just the level of art on these things alone, let alone the utility of them, is just amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah. And then, a couple weeks we're gonna have another one.
That's right.
Come out.
Yeah, that one's a big one. But before we get on to that, have you seen what's been going on with these Sentinel Primes in the marketplace?
No, I haven't.
So basically, the requirement to earn a Sentinel Prime was you needed to hold 4 animated shorts. All of this
Right.
stuff is being done through Discord. We tried to tell everybody, get on the Thetaverse Discord. This is Discord only stuff. It's too late to join now. This has been in the works since August 1st. So the people that had 4 animated shorts starting August 1st and held them without posting them for sale for the entirety of the month of August, they were the ones that were eligible to receive the Sentinel Prime. So basically, 4 animated shorts. So I believe that there was like 76 minted of them. And so far, there's been 3 that have sold. So now this is an airdrop, right?
Right.
We've seen plenty of airdrops from other places, and we know what they do. Not much. There's already been 3 that have sold, all right? And all 3 have sold for over $2,000. And there's an offer out there currently for $2,400 for another one.
And
I
I
mean,
believe the floor price was $4,000 right now.
Yep, the floor is $4,000, but there is a current offer out there for $2,450. So it's just wild. Shout out to T News. This guy just on fire. Bought 2 out of the 3 that I'm talking about. Doc Theta with the other one. Got the sweet tooth for the Symbies. So
Nice.
yeah.
You mentioned something about 4 shorts or one of these, and they should be the price of the animated, because there was some animated shorts that sold too this week.
Yes, there were some animated shorts that sold. So the other part of this is that there will be another chance to earn these VROAs. However, in order to do that, at that point, you're going to have to burn the NFTs. So now you're talking about burning 4 animated shorts to earn the Sentinel Prime. So this round they were free.
And can I ask you something? Because you're smarter about this, and you have all those extra roles in the Symbies Discord. That means we can is there any benefit of holding the animated shorts? So are we going to be able to earn another one and burn our shorts?
You are. Yes. So if you want to burn your shorts,
but is there reason to hodl the shorts?
Well, yeah, because now when it comes time, the animated short is going to have the ability to stake and earn Tverse tokens.
Ooh.
When the time comes, and there's going to be an unlimited potential on that. If you have 4, you're going to be able to stake all 4 for at least a year. After the year is up, you're going to be able to continue to stake them, but there may be a limitation onto how many of them you can stake. So that hasn't been.
Isn't that only
if
it's your highest? Well, wasn't there something about your highest?
No, this
role?
is different. This is different.
Oh, okay.
That's different. There's a rewards pool for VROAs, and whatever VROA is your highest ranker, so ours is Dragon Prime, you earn a rewards percentage of Tverse tokens for owning that. Sentinel Prime is the second highest. So if you don't have a Dragon Prime and you have a Sentinel Prime, you're earning the second highest percentage rewards for that purpose.
Gotcha.
But back to the animated shorts, separately, there's going to be staking once an ecosystem is up and running, and the animated shorts are going to be available for staking purposes. So if you have 4 animated shorts only, and it comes time, you're going to have to make a decision. Do I want to burn all 4, leaving me with 0 to get another Sentinel Prime? Or do I want to stake these bad boys and, take my chances in that direction? So people are going to have some interesting decisions to make.
It's a good problem to have, I guess.
Options are always good. Absolutely.
And that's something that could come down to the last second, because if you're looking at what's rare, I guess at that point, right?
Yeah, there's not a complete understanding of how this is going to work, what it's going to look like. But yeah, the bottom line is that there is going to be another opportunity to earn You're going to have to burn to do it, but there's also a cost for it because now you're burning something that has staking and income generating potential.
Gotcha. Wow. There's always just so much about these damn Symbies, huh?
It's just unbelievable. The project just continues to evolve and boggle my mind, to be honest. It's crazy. I didn't know everything about the Sentinel until it dropped, and it's just like, wow, like this thing can see through walls. It's crazy, like, unreal.
It is sick.
Well, Mags, I don't know if you got anything else over there you want to try to get me pissed off with.
No, yeah, this is a one for the record books today. I'd like to get your fresh take on what I had. So
yeah, no, you caught me off guard on that, and hey, whatever, get us on there, guys. It's only right, we can do a community poll if you want,
or take them off. That's fine too.
And if and that would be fine too. That is it. We don't need to be on there, but they shouldn't be either. That's my only point. Never even heard of them. Has anybody ever heard of them?
Crickets. I don't hear anything.
I don't need. Me either. I mean, if they're a Theta TV streamer, I'm sorry.
There's a lot of Theta TV streamers.
There is a lot of them. Yeah, and a lot of them aren't just Theta. They're on there and they're doing their own thing with everything else that streams.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right, man. Well, good time as always. I can't remember. I thought we had a really, maybe was it Wes this week that we had? Maybe we can talk to him about this.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, it wasn't Wes. But we do have a good interview coming up, and it's kind of a special one because it is a newer member to the Pine community. He kind of jumped in, made a splash, started a little Twitter beef with Baller, trying to make a name for himself. It's all good, he's just making moves. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome to the program, Mr. Bones Nasty.
After these messages.
This week's episode is brought to you by Rewarded.tv. What other place can you go to earn crypto as you watch and stream TV?
Wait, you can earn crypto?
You can earn crypto. It's called the RPlay token, my man.
RPlay. Didn't we have guests on previously that talked about this?
We did. Chris and Dan, our boys from Imagine Replay.
Oh, cool. So they're finally out.
They're finally out. The official token drop happened, and you make an account on Rewarded.tv, link it to your email address, start watching and earning. It's as easy as that.
Oh, that sounds great. Can I get off this call with you now and start earning?
You can do that right now at Rewarded.tv. This week's episode is brought to you by ThetaCon 2022. What's better than spending a winter weekend in Florida? How about spending a winter weekend in Florida with a bunch of awesome people from the Theta community? December 2nd to the 4th at La Meridian in Fort Lauderdale. Tickets on sale now. The link for tickets and a lot more information can be found at thetacon.org. And honestly, $999 for the all-inclusive ticket is quite a deal. Comes with 2-night stay, a conference ticket, and $250 for on-premise food and drinks. I hope to see you there, and as Mags always says, that's from the both of us.
Papa Mags, yeah. Papa Mags. Papa Mags Pinecast. Papa Mags Pinecast.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I don't even know how to describe our guest tonight. You're not even going to believe who we landed. Appearing on the Pinecast, Bones Nasty. Bones, how's it going?
Hey, fellas, how you doing?
So what's going on, Bones?
Hey, man, I'm like happy to be chatting with you guys. Long-time listener. It's just super cool to be part of the community these days.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Most of these guests that we've had on, we've either known them for a while, or they're part of a project that we had to spend a bunch of time, researching, so we didn't look like fools. But this one, I'm going to tell you, this one's a total wild card. Because I know you kind of came out of the blue here. It was about a month ago, if I remember properly.
Yep.
And you made a bit of a splash. And, you got a nice warm welcome in the SPS Discord. We kind of reached out and, we snuck you into the schedule here. And we got a time that worked for you. So it's cool to have you on, man.
Thanks, Pops. Yeah, I've just been kind of sitting on the sidelines, quietly on Theta drop, watching things go by. When Pines first dropped, I thought, man, they're super cool, but I just didn't know like where to get in or what to buy. And I was seeing all these huge sales for all the customs and well, anyways, I've been in the community for years now, but I figured I'd just pop my head in, and I officially bought my first pine about a month ago, and I figured I'd say hi to the community.
Well, that's awesome to hear. It did seem like you have, from our little interaction, that you have been in the community for a long time. So how did your Theta story start? How long in the community are you?
Right. So I think it's like a lot of other guys on there. I think in 2014, I started taking a look at Bitcoin and bought a little. And then I did the bonehead move of selling it all before it went sky high. And then I have a redemption story about trying to figure out what the next big, crypto project was. And I come from a finance background, and I just happened to honestly stumble upon Theta and started doing my research and like asking buddies like, hey, what do you think of this? And isn't this technology really cool? And that was about 2018. So I've been around since then.
Very nice. So you were probably selling your Bitcoin when I was refusing to buy Mag's Bitcoin at $600.
That's about right. Yeah.
Never gets old.
Yeah, well, yeah, I might as well, just wear it at this point. You've brought it up so many times, so.
So Bones, you've been in SPS for about a month or so, give or take?
Yeah, I figured I'd make some noise by calling out Baller, and that was just the wrong move, I think. That guy is just balling way too hard for me.
He's balling way too hard for everyone.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
But I got to say, me and Papa were talking, really like your, just how you emerged on the scene and you said, I want to go on the Pinecast. We got people that I want to go, I don't want to go, and you just came out of nowhere. So
yeah, definitely. We have a couple people lined up here still, but it was refreshing to kind of like get that take from you of like, listening to you guys and kind of got me into Pines. So to me, like, this is one of the cooler interviews that we've done in a while, just because we don't really know you that much, and just the fact that you did reach out and showed interest kind of credited us a bit for your interest in jumping into the Pines when you did. I mean, honestly, that's super cool to me. I'm curious, and it can't be just from listening to us that you got into Pines. So I was curious, like, what else helped you to get there? Was it like the art, or where you think these things are going? Just kind of curious your take on what actually led to pulling the trigger for the first time.
Yeah, so I was saying, if you go back in my Twitter feed, like when you guys first posted that very first episode, like I listened to it that night and I was like, man, these guys are kind of kooky. Like, it's a Pinecast? What in the hell? What is that?
Yeah.
But I retweeted it. I liked it. I retweeted it. And I said, check out the Pops and Mags Pinecast. If you don't know, now you know. And I tagged Mitch Liu and Jai and stuff like that, because I was like, these guys got to check this out. It's super cool, like community run marketing for Theta, which I think is super important. Like just in Web3 and blockchain, is that for the most part, we're all owners in this like huge network. So why not take ownership and try to promote and like be part of just this really cool thing that's happening? I was like, man, I feel like I'm missing the boat by not having one of these Pines. And I guess I've just seen prices kind of come down to what I feel are like reasonable levels. But that being said, I don't like spending the T-fuel,
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm giving it up on the cheaps. I was like, man, I saw a pretty cool pine smoking a blunt. And I was like, I got to scoop me up one of those guys. That's a Bones Nasty if I ever seen one right there.
Perfect fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I remember properly, there was more than one that you got right away, right? Did you get two?
So what's funny is I've been playing around with that offer feature, and I put an offer on the camo faced Pine with the red bandana, kind of almost looks like Rambo. Not a Pinebo though.
Yeah.
And so I put a bid in, and the person like doubled the price right away. And I don't know if that was the algorithm or them just seeing someone bidding close to what they were, putting out there. And so I was like, I'm not going to get that one. So I went ahead and I kept my offer on there, but I went ahead and I scooped another Pine. And then later that night, I saw the T Fuel deducted from my account. And I was like, oh boy, I think I scooped 2. So I was like, I'm cool with that.
So back before they had the offer feature, if they went into Discord or Twitter DMs or something, and they would send a message like, hey, I'm interested in your pine. You know, a lot of times people will post it for a really high amount, hoping to get it down. But it's like the second someone shows interest in it, they jack it up. And it happens. It happened before we had the offer feature, and it's funny to see that it's happening now that we have the offer feature.
I have to tell you, the one thing that the Pinecast has been like really good about, or you guys have been really good about, is like just opening up my eyes, or the viewers' eyes or listeners' eyes, to like all the new features and all the cool projects. Like I just scooped 2 Psycho Heads and a Theta Zilla, like just kind of like out of interest alone, of like, what are these projects doing? And you can play games with Psycho Heads, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, Rob's a good guy, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Rob's super cool. And then Austin, who's on Twitter, he's like a developer that's partnered with Rob. He's like posting a bunch of cool stuff. So I was like, man, I want to rally the developer community up and try to, you know, learn some of the names there, because the developers are what's going to really bring value to the network over time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Theta Zilla Club actually has a really great developer along with him too. His name is Frack. Phrack. And he's been doing some amazing things. But it's like a lot of these guys, they're just doing their stuff behind the scenes, you know. Mactastic for Pines, like a lot of really talented people that are just kind of plugging away behind the scenes and making some really cool features. Yeah.
Yeah, I love what Mactastic did in the SPS Discord there. I like popped it open, what was it, 2.5 weeks ago, and I was like, man, look at all these new groups and stuff. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and he's in the lab now working on some really cool stuff that probably shouldn't talk about too much right now, but he's really stepping it up, and he was a one-man wrecking crew for like 2 weeks straight. So it was cool to have him on recently too, to kind of talk about what he's been up to. But
and you know, Mac is serious because he kicked us out of the beta testing to get this new one up.
It's funny you say that, because when I went into SPS Discord, it's like it's like giving me an error. I'm like, why is this happening? Oh, he removed access to that server for me. Yeah.
Yeah, because you took that vacation.
I know.
You would have known.
Couldn't keep up.
I was gonna say, the one cool thing that was it Mactastic?
Yes.
The one thing he did lately was he gave away like a floor pine, which I thought was super cool, because I think like part of how you grow like this whole Theta network thing is like introducing people to their first NFTs. Like I remember when the Theta Zilla first dropped, I bought a couple extra because I was like, man, maybe I can give these away to my friends or something. Like it'll be their first NFT.
Yeah, definitely. Can't do that yet because can't get our NFTs off of Theta Drop. But I just wanted to bring something up. You know, I know Magnum is like the most humble person and probably would have not said anything about this, but it was actually Magnum's floor pine that was given away in Mactastic's little pine games that he had. So just to make sure that got out there, because Magnum is so humble that he would not have mentioned that.
Oh, hey, sorry, Chef, I just stepped away for a second. What did I miss?
Oh, nothing. You're all set. Think you're caught up.
Cool. Pops was just giving you props for being the most humble pine out there.
As he should, is what somebody who isn't humble would say, is what I've heard. I don't know.
It's funny because when I listen to podcasts, it seems, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems kind of obvious that you guys are buddies from the past. Like some of the stories y'all tell about the restaurant deal where someone ran off with some STGs. I thought that was hilarious.
Yep. Yeah, we go back.
We go back. We're friends. No, we push each. We weren't like the greatest. We didn't like grow up with each other. We've grown accustomed to each other. And me and Pops just, for whatever reason, we're like oil and vinegar. We're always pushing each other's buttons.
Yeah.
And I think there's a few more stories that eventually will get released. But basically, it's just been contention since I've known him, and since I got into crypto and he got me into Theta NFTs, and it's been like it's it's continued, and so I'm glad that I found the perfect pine to counteract his stupidity.
Yep.
You guys
I
definitely
can't disagree.
Yeah, you guys definitely have two of the cooler pines out there. That's for sure. I was curious, Mags, when you're going to try to scoop that Deadpool or the Spider-Man that are for sale out there right now.
Dude, the Deadpool's he's just been going lower. I feel like he can go lower and maybe he'll accept a bit lower, even though we paid a lot for him. But like if it's the T fuel, he's going to be netting a lot more T fuel. If I don't remember what he paid for it, but I have been eyeing that. If I could sell a couple things, maybe I could think about getting that. Hopefully Baller's not hearing this, so stay away, Baller.
Yeah, well, there's no interest here, Baller. Please.
How do you guys think about when like trading the pines or any NFTs? Is it all about just trying to get more T fuel, or do you guys like factor in the dollar amount that you guys are paying over time and stuff like that?
Personally, right now, for me, I'm unusual. I've only sold one pine. I've been mostly accumulating them when the artifacts came out and people needed specific pines. I had some extra floor pines that had no props. So that was the one pine that I sold for a decent gain on there. But right now, for me, it's just kind of tough. I'm not overextended into the NFTs as far as investing goes. So I'm not really in a need to sell any. But right now, I mean, it's just with T Fuel where it is, it's just so hard to spend it for me. So I'm not really looking to sell any pines as it is, but some of the other NFTs, it was definitely selling them to not really caring too much where the dollar value was. But if I'm getting like 7x or something on the T Fuel, then I did make that play with some other NFTs.
I sold a bunch for the challenge to help some people get with that. I wound up with a I don't know if I've opened a bunch of cans, and I opened one, and it was like one of the first ones that hit the radar where it was an 888, but it was after the 888, so it was an OG, I guess they would call it. So anyways, I got to sell that for a nice little profit. But usually my strategy, not as good as Popper's, is to sell at a loss, pool T Fuel, to buy a can, to open a floor, and then sell that as a loss. It's not a good model at all.
I think I heard the other day you've pulled about 80 of those canisters so far, right?
I think it's like 72. I think I'm around 72.
But who's counting, right? I mean,
yeah.
Right. I'm finding it really hard to go in there. Popper made it look so easy. He got like 25 and he got 2 customs, and I'm at like 72 and I'm not even close.
Yeah,
I just cringe.
You guys, do you guys know anything about the TNS names on Theta board? Have you guys dabbled in any of that stuff? Like, have you bought like Sheriff Popper.theta or something like that?
I do own Sheriff Popper.theta, yes.
Oh, that's super cool.
I'm not sure if Mags did.
I think I've been on Theta board once because I was messing around with the Theta Zoe Club, and he sent me a link.
Yeah, you can it was easier to view your NFTs at one point on Theta board. But yeah, I'm not really 100% sure what exactly the benefits of that is. But as soon as they came out, I just got Sheriff Popper.theta just in case. It was a smart move. I didn't go out and get like Fox.theta or CBS.theta. There was a lot of that going on. I remember the boards were lighting up with like the stuff that people were buying. I'm like, man, what are you guys doing? Like, is this actually? I
don't think I've heard.
This feels like gambling.
Other than TCC bringing up once, I don't think I've heard mention to these in a long time. Those accounts, like they were hot. The short letter ones or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It seems to me like why do you think, like, if someone's brand new coming into, I don't know, Theta Drop, and they're like, oh man, look at these pines, What do you think they're thinking is going to happen in like whatever it is, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years? Like, is it that they're going to have this pineapple avatar in the metaverse that they run around with? And does it have a name, or, like, I don't know. What do you guys think about the future of all this? It's kind of crazy, right?
It's definitely crazy. For me, when I first got into it, I really liked the art. I liked the way that the pineapples looked. I thought they were pretty cool. Was not into NFTs at all when like the CryptoPunks or the Bored Apes got huge. And then to see these ones that were going to be dropping on Theta, I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool. Like, I don't know really where it's going, but the art has me interested to start with. And then you start learning about Rare Robot, and you see I don't know if you've had the time to check out his website, therarerobot.com, I believe it is.
No, I think I've like stopped into the basic SPS website that just has the Grove graphic on it and like not much more. But
yep.
I would imagine the rest of his art's probably super cool.
Yeah, so when you get a chance sometime, you should check out, I believe it's therarerobot.com. Mags, correct me if I'm wrong.
Confirmed. I just
Sweet.
double checked.
So yeah, he's got a bunch of art on there, concept art and things of that nature, where it's just like, I mean, as soon as I saw that, I was even more sold on the possibilities here. I mean, he works at WB, or did work. I'm not sure if he still does. Did some game integrations there. So it's like, he's the possibilities seem limitless, kind of, as to where this could go. And it seems like he's dabbled in a lot of the different things where this is possibly going. So, I'm very intrigued as to where it's going, but just the quality of his previous work is what really has me sold. And, not too worried, or not worried at all really, about this kind of winter of not hearing anything that we're going through. So I know there's some grumbling out there, but I'm not really concerned. I know that there's work being done. It's not a rug pull. They're in the lab. Did he take a vacation? Yeah, he did. I don't know the extent of who, what, when, or why, but if I had just got done working a ton for a production studio and was going into something else, man, I'd be taking some time too. So I don't fault him.
Well, you did take some time, Sheriff.
I did take some time. And it was actually right after I got caught up at work too. So I took a nice 5 days to make sure I got back behind the 8 ball here as soon as I get back.
Has the Rare Robot reached out to you guys and said, like, called you a couple of jabronis for, talking about his precious pines, or has he like talked with you guys at all?
I have had some messaging with James. Yes. All positive, some through our guests that we'll be hearing from shortly here, URP. He's doing the PNN thing, and James helps with him sometimes on that. And I know that back with our first episode that he did listen to it, and he thought it was funny. But I don't know if he's like listening all the time or anything like that. I think he's kind of just doing his thing, I know that I heard from him recently, and he's back on the grind, and just.
And no, I don't hear from him. I have to hear from Popper.
You hear from everybody else trying to get on the show, though.
Right.
Yeah, when's this URP episode gonna drop? You guys keep teasing it. I'm like foaming at the mouth over here to hear the thing.
So so right now it's a Monday night. It's gonna be. I'm gonna get it out. Like, are you East Coast, West Coast?
I'm a West Coastie.
Yeah, so probably on East Coast time. It's gonna be later tonight. I'm gonna get it out early. So early morning for us on the East. It might be early morning or late evening for you guys. So I do this thing where I'll be good at putting Mondays out, and then I'll just do Tuesdays, and then I'll put a Monday or Tuesday out. Nobody will ever know. It just I think this one was more Popper took a vacation, and
it's my fault.
And I didn't feel like I was gonna rush myself, so I kind of took a vacation at home and waited to hear back from Popper for my marching orders.
There you go.
So yeah, hopefully you'll have that URP one soon. And it's funny because I haven't listened to it since we recorded it, and I'm doing the editing. And dude, the The guy's so funny, man. I could have listened to him for a while. So I enjoyed it myself. Hopefully everyone else does too, but it was good.
That's cool. That's cool.
Not like
Hey,
the
did you
one we
guys
had
see-
last week. No, just kidding.
I watched I listened to the Ivory Jones podcast because I got a little behind, but I listened to that today. And then, like, funny enough, he had that big drop today, the new VROA.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah, those are the drop is actually slated for the 31st on Wednesday, but that was kind of like the unveiling of what it's going to be, the Sentinel Primes. Yeah, that project, that's a favorite of mine. Ivory actually, it kind of happened through the Theta Zilla Club Discord. It's funny because I started I got into Pines and I joined the SPS Discord, and back in November, I mean, the SPS Discord was just a flurry. It was like Grand Central. You can't have a conversation in there because there's a million people talking, and it was just wild. But something came up. They had a side thing of like Theta drop, and we were talking about Psycho KOs or like the Battle Pugs or whatever. And Zilla was like, "Oh, he's like, why don't you join us over here? We talk Theta drop over here all the time." So I joined that Discord. It was a really cool Discord, a lot of good people over there. And one of the guys, he goes by the moniker Smack and Cheese. When we were getting close to the drop, he invited Ivory into the Discord, and Ivory joined and came in, and it was literally like, Smack is like a fanboy. We had TK fanboy. There was quite a few just like major fanboys going on and like just asking questions, and I'm just trying to kind of take it all in. I don't really, I'm not much of a gamer, but those guys are, and they're just going nuts over it. So we were able to kind of get an understanding of what was going on. So now the drop comes along, and I'm just like, man, this is going to be impossible to get because everybody's going to want these things. And I didn't realize that, it was basically only us paying attention to what was going on. And it's turned out to be I can't even understand really still where the stuff is going. But yeah, these VROAs are really cool. And it's kind of a cutting edge technology too. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I think like new use cases that like show you something that you haven't seen before are super cool. I was snooping around in the Symbies, as Mags would call them, earlier today, thinking
Nice.
I could pick up like a T-verse token or something like that on the cheaps to try to get access to the verified Discord. But I think I'm still going to be working on that. Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
Right.
The T-verse tokens don't grant access. It's got to be, you got to get a collision. You got to get one of the vault ones to get access into there.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd have been some T-fuel misspent right there. Actually, maybe not.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, there's
like
benefits to those too, but different, yeah.
Yeah, well, can you elaborate on that? Like, what are the benefits of the T-verse tokens? I'm like, that's like a sleeper. That whole project's been a sleeper for me.
Yeah, so the T-verse token there's a small benefit as far as like a raffle up until every 1st and 15th of the month until the end of December 1st, I believe. There's a raffle where a random T-verse token owner wins a prize. So far, they've been like I believe it was a Dark War NFT, one of the Fused Guardians NFTs, and then just most recently was the 30-minute gameplay, like the demo gameplay with Ivory. So that's the small benefit, but then the more long-term benefit is that they're actually going to be able to be traded in for actual T-verse tokens, which is the coin that is going to be the economic model for the game.
Oh, cool. So they're gonna launch like a TNT 20 token,
yes.
like by redeeming those. Oh, that's super cool.
Well, yeah, part of it. So, when it comes time, there's going to be a pool. When the coin is created, there's going to be a pool that's set aside for trading these coins in to redeem a certain percentage of coins. And the VROAs actually are also in that same kind of category. There's going to be a rewards pool for owning the VROAs as well when the tokens are released.
Man, I still feel like we're so early on this. Everybody keeps saying it, but it's like just coming on the podcast, hearing about the new functionality that I didn't even know existed, like bad on my part for not doing my research, but like I know I'm not the only one out there that'd be interested in this stuff that, once they learn about it, think it's super cool.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, we've said it a bunch of times, and there's so many projects out there that the symbiotes is one where we've kind of both focused a little, me a little bit more, but there's so many out there where it's just like at some point you get overwhelmed and it's impossible to keep up with all this stuff.
Yeah, even just going on like Theta Drop, there's like you go into the filters list and there's just a bunch of projects to choose from. It's like you said, and then Discord's crazy, like all the different channels you gotta go through. I find it funny because almost everyone that I've heard on your podcast, they're not like we're not teenagers here, not a bunch of young kids that would be like easily tracking all this stuff. It's like guys in their mid 30s and 40s finding NFTs cool, which is funny at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's a lot more developed, and it seems like I bash it too, the we're early thing. I think Pops was saying that when he got his crypto kitties. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No.
Yeah, what CryptoKitties is like? What 2015, right? Like that's when they were.
Was it 2015? I remember it was like all the rage in 2017. So like,
okay,
towards the end of 2017, basically like ate up the Ethereum network, and I think the gas fees were insane because everyone was going after these CryptoKitties, which Pops are nasty. I think it was almost like I don't know if would it be considered an NFT, but it had different attributes, but they were kind of like Tamagotchis where you had to take care of them or something.
I think so. I never got into it back then, to be honest with you. It was like almost too novel,
Yeah. Bone Nasty comes into Theta like he's the new kid at school. Where all the cool kids and the nerds and stuff are outside of school because that's the cool thing to do before school starts. Is what I've learned from the movies is to hang out outside the high school. Duh. And that's all
Leaning
these
the railing.
Cliques or all these different projects. And there's overlapping. So it's for the most part, I guess it's we have arguments within and without. It's still a great community out there. So
just like high school was, right? Arguments
maybe for you.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Works for me.
I totally agree. You guys are like the cool clique, and I'm just like the brand new kid to school trying to fit in. So at first day on the block, I call out Baller and get some attention. He gets smacked down in front of everyone.
He's like O'Doyle, man.
Yeah.
I'm like the cool, humble kid who helps take your bag and shows you where you got to go.
Baller, if you're listening, don't take it personal. I was just trying to get some followers on Twitter to be part of the community. I figured I'd get some fanfare that way by picking a fight with you.
He forgot already, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
He probably had a little bit too much to drink when
we love you,
got
Baller.
into it. Yeah.
Baller's a big fan of the show. We're a big fan of his too. And that's the thing too. It's like, there's just so many good people that we've already met through here. There's people that we met before we started doing the Pinecast, and now like actually like being able to kind of hang out with them and interview with them. It's been really fun for us. I mean, at least for me, because I don't do any of the other work. But yeah, no, it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I would. So I signed up for ThetaCon 22. There's my plug, ThetaCon 22. Y'all better show up, Florida, in December.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, so it was super cool to hear Brian of the Indiana Macers on the show.
Yes.
And pumping up and sharing some info. And I was like, when the first drop for the tickets went on MetaPass, I was like, oh man, I'm like buying tickets, like NFT tickets to a real life event. And I was like, how cool is that? And I'm so pumped to like meet all you guys in person, and then you guys had General Dole on the show not too long ago. That guy was hilarious.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, him and his gummies. Yeah,
Dole's, he's like, I'm dying over here from an overdose of CBD.
Yeah. Yeah, and my wife's not going to be there for me. Just hold me, baby. Just lay down. You're fine. Yeah, that was a funny one for sure. Bunch of characters, absolutely, and it will be fun. Yeah, we'll both be at ThetaCon, so we're certainly looking forward to it. And if I believe that I saw a post that mentioned you were offering STGs, right? Is that?
Indeed, yes. They're going to be sponsored by the makers of ramen noodle soup, who also are cornering the market for T-Drop. If you guys didn't hear it,
Nice.
Dole was talking about all last week, Sheriff.
Yeah. Me and Dole were chatting over Twitter, like, "Hey, we got to get these noodle guys in the Theta Drop game." I think it makes sense if you got if. But anyways, yeah, free noodle STGs for you at ThetaCon, no problem.
Thought we were gonna step it up a little bit and go Totino's, but hey, maybe they've all been
hot
taken.
Pockets, a couple of hot pockets.
Maybe we can get the off-menu beef flavor for the noodles.
There you go.
Yeah.
Off menu, I highly suggest it. It was one of my better decisions I've ever made. So you did mention that you were involved with the original ThetaZilla drop, right? On Theta Drop?
Yeah. I thought that was so cool when it came out.
Yeah.
It was like they minted like, what was it, 26,000 NFTs at $3 a piece? Yeah.
Yeah, I look back. That was my first one, and I got one of them. So that was kind of a mistake. Should have loaded up the truck, especially with T Fuel where it was at that point.
Yeah. They went up to like $30 within a week or two. I was smacking my forehead too.
I know. What so after that initial one, did you dabble anymore? Did you just wait a little bit? What was the next project that you kind of found interest in?
So like for a couple of months after that, I was just, every time I got a little bit of T Fuel, I was just buying a couple more Theta Zillas. Because I was thinking, if it's Theta Labs putting out their NFT, maybe they'll add some cool functionality after, whether it's like, I don't know, like NFT staking or something like that. Like so much of what we're involved in is like almost unpredictable in a sense. Like you could look on GitHub and see some of the code that they're putting out. Yeah. But like you're also just kind of buying things with an idea of like, oh, maybe this will happen, or maybe I could like run with it and try to create some buzz around it. After that, I got I think my second NFT was just that Theta Drop OG that got airdropped to everyone who had been around for a while. I think. I'm like trying to think back.
Wait, the T Drop?
Yeah, the T Drop OG badge.
Okay, so you loaded up on T Drop early then and got it onto Theta Drop?
Yeah, I know, Mags, you've been a little tentative. Don't think the VIP benefits are there, but I was tossing a little like some T Drop in there because I was like, oh, like T Drop OG. How about that's a flex right there? I'm gonna flex on him. This Bones Nasty coming at him,
Yeah, I didn't get that one. I missed the early T Drop phase. I wasn't quite sold on it, and the levels were, I think, twice what they are right now. They cut them in half, I think, after that.
I don't know what's going on there. Like, I think the exchanges that list these tokens, like, just, I don't know if they arbitrage them versus the other tokens, but like T-Drop dropped by like 90% within a month and a half. There's no liquidity. Like there's no one really trading it. But I mean, any prospective T-Drop buyers out there, I think you might be getting good prices at these levels, but I'm not
for
selling
T-Fuel
any.
Too. But I don't think that T-Drop is on an exchange. I think it's all just available on the liquidity pools. So I was guilty of immediately selling my T-Drop for T-Fuel that I originally got because I thought it was overvalued, and I got lucky with the timing of that. I was able to get. I have since got the bronze status, and unlike Mags, I like to keep my bronze status to sell for T-Fuel because I think there is value there.
There's the utility benefits, I think, have just not been announced. Like, I don't know if you guys track the governance portal for Theta Drop, but there's been like no activity there. And I don't know if that's just a reflection of, I don't know, people other than developers not having enough T-Drop to propose governance. I think that's important from a community aspect, especially big holders like you guys, like Pops and Mags. y'all need to be on the Theta Drop governance portal, tossing up all sorts of ideas.
Yeah, I do think that's pretty cool. And I think that a couple did go through, right? They increased the T-drop earnings on sales. And I'm not sure if there was any others that went through. But yeah, I've heard that that's possibly like a precursor for a future future use for the Theta token, right? Because the Theta token's a governance token as well.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know how far off that's going to be, but certainly smart of Theta Labs and the team to test it out, do some trial runs before they launch it on the mainnet. You want to work out those bugs with the community for sure. But I hope Mitch or Jai or Wes or Andrea are listening to this someday, and they want to come on the podcast and tell more people about some of this stuff, because I know we're all waiting to hear more.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be what it's. I mean, we're still waiting for NFTs to get off Theta Drop, so we'd love for that to happen. But here we are.
What's the day count on that one, Mags? What are we at? 90 days now?
By the time this comes out, we're going to be at 101.
Oh man.
Unless they surprise us between now and then, which is possible. Well,
that would be delightful.
That would be. Yeah, I mean, it would be great to have, one of the big shots on the Pinecast. I mean, I don't know how likely that is, but we'll see. I know that we do have at least one fan over there at Theta Labs, so that's a start. And we'll be meeting them at ThetaCon, so that'll be pretty cool. And we'll see what can go from there.
Right on.
And we at least have one enemy over there who commented on my domain name video that Sushi Cat roasted me with. But
what was this hot tub incident I keep hearing so much about?
Oh, you don't know about the hot tub?
I'm poking the bear a little bit. Yeah, I want to hear you tell the story again.
Well, I think what happened was, obviously the domain went down, and that was a terrible 12 hours or so ish. I mean, I was sleeping through some of it.
Yeah, I don't know that it was 12 hours, but sure.
But I think the story I heard was that Kyle had some raging hot tub party was it at Theta Labs? They had their hot tub party.
It was certainly on a rooftop.
It was on a rooftop. They overslept and they forgot to renew the domain. They apologized for not renewing the domain or blaming the guy or girl who didn't renew the domain, but they didn't make any mention of the hot tub party. So I had to provide those pictures of them in the hot tub on our dime, and not getting any answers. So that's the short and short of it, I guess.
Surely there's some amends that could be made with you and Kyle at some point. Maybe talking a little bit about that recent Theta TV creator drop gets your foot in the door with a little apology.
I'm not looking for any apology. I'm just looking for some accountability. That's all. Just
and a zombie.
Well, that's a separate hot topic that the community really wants. I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again because at the end of the day, it's not me that needs to get it, but the community really wants me to get this zombie Pine Guardian with a bond torso, T-Fuel pin, and Oligarch Olive background. And I mean, at this point, I would have to accept it because on behalf of the community to quell this unrest that is going on. It probably could bring peace to the universe, if we're being honest. So
I think it's what needs to happen before we can get our NFTs off of Theta Drop.
Maybe we could put that on the Theta Drop governance portal. Everybody vote for Mags to get the zombie bond pineapple.
Did you see URP's rendition of what it would look like?
It's immaculate. It's gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
It is.
I'd love it a lot more if it was in my wallet. Sure.
It's certainly priceless. I don't think you could ever sell that one if you got it, Mags.
Oh no, I could sell some other ones for sure though.
what did you think about the custom one that he did with like the guardian through the eyeballs?
Well, I know the question's for our guest, but I know I've mentioned to you off camera or Mike that I would think that if a zombie guardian, they would use the hands coming out of the eyes. And they probably could do it because that one dude has the pine with the T-fuel floater in the hair. So maybe that could happen. But I didn't like it. I like the zombie more, but let's back to our guest on this one.
Did you see that one that I'm talking about?
I saw it posted on Twitter. It's awesome. Yeah.
Which one's better?
The zombie Bond pineapple, bro.
You damn right.
For sure. Yeah.
I agree with
Hands
that
down.
too.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate to agree with Mags, but I have to in this case.
It's an unfortunate to accept the agreements too. So apologies on my part.
I agree with that as well, unfortunately.
Can't your guy Meg V Dev take your Magnum PI apple and turn it into a zombie? Is that something he can do?
I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could. He's a talented young man.
He cool
artwork that he puts out there. I've seen a few of them. That'd be cool.
Copper, didn't you get one?
For you.
I got one in the works. He had some stuff going on, and I don't know if you know that Meg actually had. He was part of a drop that happened on Ethereum, the Billionaire Ghosts, I believe it's called. So he had that come up recently, but I do actually have a Mega Mutant in the works on one of my pines. Not Popper. Went a different route. Didn't really want to mess with Popper. I like Popper as he is, but I'm very, very interested to see where he goes with what I gave him. So I'm should be getting that sometime soon. Looking forward to it.
That's exciting. Can't wait to see the post when it comes out.
It is, yes. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's been longer than I thought it was going to take, but things happen. Not a big deal.
To be fair, Mega said it would be a few weeks.
So we're well within a few weeks.
Sheriff, what's gonna happen first? Dole gets his General Dole bust?
Nope.
Or that he only owes $100 to get?
I asked him about that the other day and he still hasn't paid it.
So
he's like, I forgot. He calls me. He's like, oh, I got something for you. He's like, you can't tell anybody. And I was like, oh, you finally paid the $100? He's like, oh man, I totally forgot. And it was about those Vans shoes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got into him about that too. That's too funny.
Yeah, I like those Vans.
I'll take them. Yeah.
I like the Vans that
cool.
General Dole posted. Those were sick looking. I think
never gonna be.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think he said that Vans canceled on him. What WTF? Huh?
Yeah, they said it was funny. Yeah, they said that because it wasn't his artwork, and it was funny. I don't know if James read the whole thing, but James those are pretty cool. James is the one that made it for him.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, Dole was like with a big negative post, and Rare Robot's like, oh, those look cool.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. No, he's not wrong. They did look cool. But it's kind of messed up. Like, I don't know. There's an opportunity there for sure. But I understand as well. Like, you don't want to just like how is Vans gonna know, right? I mean, it's kind of a tough situation there for them. But would be cool if you could do that with Vans. I suppose, yeah.
Well, who's the head of partnerships?
Not me.
Well, they should maybe get a hold of Vans.
I think. Yeah. Is there any? Has James put out any kind of like copyright language on the artwork or anything like that? Like, I know, for example, with Feldman's Psycho heads, he explicitly says that you could take your Psycho head and like put it on a T-shirt and do that kind of stuff. But there's like some limitations to what you can do with, like, you can't resell merch that would have his artwork on it.
I honestly don't know. I know. I don't know. Will 2 has some that he's asked if he could sell, correct, Hopper?
Yeah, he has an online store, onlypineapples.com, and he does sell merch. Some are his pines, some are pines that others have let him use with the likeness. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that the idea. I had somebody else come to me, and it was they had a friend that had like a lollipop company or something like that, and he had a lollipop pineapple
Fine.
and wanted to get that on the wrapper, and the person was nervous about doing it. We got the green light from Rare Robot that was something that could be done.
Oh,
So I'm not sure if there's like a specific set of rules that we need to follow on this, but I believe part of it was that we do have licensing ability on it, at least in some aspect.
well, and we have our Pops and Mags Pinecast, but we don't make any money off of it, so I think it's a wash.
I
Yeah,
do love some of the advertisements that you guys have on. It's hilarious, the little jingles that you guys got. Is that all Sushi Cat that did that for you?
she's amazing. We like literally asked her one day, and like I'm telling you, like 15 minutes later, she's like, "Oh, pick one of these." And it's like, "All right, I'll take them all." That's awesome. And we put all three in there each time. It's amazing. So thank you again, Sushi.
Yeah, it's cool how like certain people in the community have certain skills that you can like reach out and be like, hey, can you do this for us? And like I think the more and more people that we bring into, whether it's Theta Network, Theta Drop, whatever, like just the more capability the whole network has based on the skills of the people that come in and like are engaged and find it cool what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of skillful people out there. We did offer to pay Sushi for her services, and she didn't want to agree. So we did end up throwing her some NFTs off of Open Theta that we could actually move around from wallet to wallet, because just the way that we are, I didn't want to we're using this every week now, and she really from week 1 to week 2 classed this thing up immensely just with those jingles. So it was certainly worth everything that we gave her and then some. So we're certainly still appreciative of what she's done for us. But I also I don't think it's fair to reach out and expect somebody to do something for free either. I'm coming from an accounting background of my own, and it's tough sometimes because I hate to say no, and especially when I was younger, I just hated to say no to people. But you got to learn, like, at some point you got to say no. Like, it's, your time has value to it, and I definitely don't need people like that are putting so much into this to be abused by others looking for something for free. And I'm not insinuating that that's what you were saying. I'm just kind of throwing that out there because I know that has happened to her. So it's, I don't find that to be fair. So Bones, you seem like a pretty smart guy, and well versed in the Theta technology. What are your thoughts on the meta chain that's coming up here pretty soon?
Well, I thought it was really cool that they announced the partnership with True VRS and Fuse the other day.
Yep.
It's like you can see that they've got partners, whether they're small, medium, or large. And I think those two are small relatively to like whether you have Netflix or Amazon or something like that launching with MetaChain. But it just proves like what they're building has an end customer. And I think that overall, when you think about Web3 and crypto developing into the future, that the ability for the network to scale is super important. And I think that when you can offer up a technological solution that allows someone like Netflix to come in and get the scale and dial in the transactions per second or the gas cost that they want on their own chain, that's a really cool offering from Theta. So like it's definitely the evolution of Web3. And I think everything that I've read is like Jai and Mitch, they're ahead like of the game on patents, on like thinking, what the future is. And I'm just super excited. And I'm even more excited to think that it's dropping like the day after ThetaCon starts. So I can't wait to hear all the buzz.
Yeah.
Day before. Yeah. So the buzz is going to be huge. Like I'm excited. What about you guys?
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm just kind of curious if a lot of this stuff that we're looking for from Theta Drop is just kind of on hold right now until Metachain drops. I don't know if it's related in any sense. It seems like if the work is being done to get Metachain up and running, which seems like, the big long-term play, maybe Theta Drop isn't getting as much attention right now as it can once that is done. I don't know. I was just kind of curious on your take. You bring up the technology in the video. Are you streaming some rewarded TV and earning some RPlay coins?
Bones Nasty streams rewarded TV all day long. I'm watching that crypto news, the 24/7 crypto news. I'm up to date on everything lately. I
There
love
you
those
go.
guys over there, Krish and Dan. They're killing it at Imagine Replay. It's awesome.
Yes, they are. We are big rewarded TV fans. Definitely huge on the Imagine Replay scene here, and really looking forward to how that technology, which seems like just like the perfect marriage for the Theta technology, is going to integrate and where that's going to go. Because you start to bring up like Netflix and YouTube and things that they need to do. Well, I think we have a pretty good idea of who could help them.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting that you mentioned like Netflix and all that, because those guys are obviously the biggest pineapple in the room, as they may say. But like Theta's infrastructure is definitely built for like the small and medium size content distributors and producers, like empowering the small man in a way, or the small pineapple.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I think like Imagine Replay's technology is very important to enabling smaller content producers to monetize their content more and monetize it across multiple platforms that lay on the Theta infrastructure. So yeah, it's like, I know those guys have been talking to each other for a while between Theta Labs and Imagine Replay. So it's really cool to see them like launching actual product and being able to earn RPlay tokens and just getting an idea of how it's all going to work. Yeah, once again, super exciting for what's coming forward.
So you heard it here first, folks. Bones Nasty is going to be an RPlay whale with all these coins we're earning early. 20 an hour for now.
Yeah, not. I gotta get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers, Pops.
Hey, 20 an hour. I mean, that's only going to last so long, right? I mean, once this kind of starts to pick up, it's not an inflating coin. It's actually going to be deflationary. They're going to have burning of coins, so it's only going to last so long. So I'm enjoying the rewards while I get them.
Yeah, it's like most things. It's always about getting in first in crypto, right? Like being one of the first ones there to reap some of the earlier rewards. So yeah, if you're listening to this podcast, you're early. Keep it up.
But you're a week later than we are right now. But that's okay, because it's still early and it's free, and there's quite a bit of content on there. Actually, they just put a bunch of like David Blaine magic specials on there, which is pretty cool. That guy is probably the one magician where it's just like, man, how, like, this is like real magic. You know what I mean? Like, how does he do this stuff?
Yeah, the guy's creepy.
Yeah, he is. No doubt about
the other
it.
day I watched are you guys He-Man fans? I grew up watching He-Man, so there's a movie on there called The Power of Grayskull. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's pretty good.
It's like behind the scenes documentary about it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I think that was actually wasn't that the watch party this past week or the week before? They do a watch party every Wednesday night at 8:00 Eastern time, I believe, and they were testing out something where you earn like an extra 5 RPlay tokens per hour for watching the watch party.
That's right. Yeah, I remember seeing that come through my, whether it was Twitter feed or whatever. Wednesday nights, I've been trying to go to the ThetaCon stream that they have on Theta TV.
Yep.
And the watch parties, like both of those concepts are super cool. I just haven't made it yet. Sorry, Brian of the Indiana Macers. Sorry, I haven't made it yet. I'll be there at some point.
It's all good. Was there anything else you wanted to kind of touch on before we wrap it up?
No, I'm just, hey man, happy to be chatting with you guys. Happy to be part of this big experiment we're on with the Theta Network. Hoping we, 5 years from now, we look back and we're like, man, that was crazy how things went. But looking forward to meeting you guys in Florida at ThetaCon. And that's it, man.
For sure. So is there any big moves we can expect from Bones Nasty coming up in the near future?
I'm fitting to get the top score on Psycho Heads, the game versus Blardo. If you guys haven't checked it out, you got to check it out. I'm trying to step my game up and get on that high score board, and maybe picking up another pine here too. Maybe I can pick up a zombie pine ahead of Mags. We'll see.
Ooh, that would be a scorching burn if you did, and it would need to be all over Twitter.
Yeah, if it happens, I'll make sure it's heard loud and clear.
I'm sure you will.
Oh man! But one more question. We're starting up the fantasy football league. Are you gonna be joining us in there?
I think I don't know. I don't know if I got the time to watch football and all that shit, but I can swear on here, right? Maybe I'll join it just for the fanfare and just to hang out with you guys. Now that I feel like maybe I'm part of the community.
Absolutely, it's a free buy-in. I'm not going to be watching much of the football either. I'll catch a night game here or there. But hey, whatever. It's just a year long. Pick a team each week, see what happens, and just hope that Magnum doesn't beat you.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's got it for me. Goof she's already got it out for me on this one too. I thought she would back off. This looks like it's going to be a lot tougher than I thought. So
Goof's got your number, huh?
Well, she proclaimed to be Team Magnum too. So
she's got good taste, but I thought she said she's going after me in this competition. So the belt's off. And
hey, in a tangent, did Goof get 300 followers on Theta TV yet? Do we know?
I honestly don't think so. I think
has she streamed since we had her on?
She's streamed like once or twice, I think, since she was on. Popper made a cool commercial for her schedule that she's going to do, and that schedule immediately after she announced it, there was no more Moon Mondays, there was no more books being read on the OK Gatsby. So I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully,
I'm assuming it's like a school. Maybe she's back to school, and we'll kick it back up, get back in the swing of things. She
I would have figured
off, right?
Right. That's when I would want to get my stuff done, is on my off time. But
is it though? Because you had all last week when you didn't do anything.
Okay. Fair point.
All right, man. Bones, hey, it's been great getting to know you. Awesome that you came on and joined us. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you around in the Twitterverse and the Theta Drop verse.
Thanks, Pops. Thanks, Mags. Looking forward to what's to come. See you on the boards and STGs on me in Florida.
Can't wait
for that. Bring your boiling water. All right, man. Have a great night. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right. Later.
Bye. Later.
You have been listening to the Pops and Mags Pinecast. Music provided by Sushi Cat. Like what you hear? Send that cat a treat at feedthecat.theta. Pops and Mags is a Scumbag Hat production in association with Kyle's Hot Tub.